Okay, I was just digging into CookLikeHOC and wow, it's a provenance map for Chinese letter dishes, mixing AI-generated imagery, a public web page, and a surprisingly collaborative vibe.
Wait, seriously. A provenance map for a chicken chain sounds like culinary archaeology, the kind of project that makes you rethink what authentic means in food.
Totally, and they even disclaim it isn't official, which raises questions. What counts as provenance here, and who gets to curate the stories behind each dish?
That's the key tension, because if you copy text from a Chinese report, as they admit, you introduce questions about attribution, accuracy, and possible biases.
Now I notice the AI art angle, with partial AI-generated images alongside real photos. It's a fascinating blend of imagination and evidence, but does it blur trust?
It does, and I'm worrying a bit about consistency. If some images are AI made while others are real, readers might misinterpret what's authentic to the dish.
Another twist, they emphasize community contributions and a non-official status. That openness could accelerate updates, yet it also invites misinformation risks.
Agree, but the openness mirrors open source ethos, collaborative verification, version history, and a chance to surface regional variations beyond one chain.
Right, and they reference how to cook as a directional hint, which hints at a broader network of cooking knowledge, not just a single repo narrative.
Let's pause and test a metaphor. Provenance here feels like a museum exhibit, but with crowdsourced captions and living updates instead of glass vitrines.
Nice analogy. The site also mentions a new web version, so this is evolving images, reports, and sections like Old Shanghai Chicken transformed into accessible data.
That evolution is compelling, yet I worry about the extraction from a lengthy report. Are we smoothing over complexity by turning prose into bullet-like data points?
Good point, layered storytelling matters. They seem to intend a spiral approach by revisiting dishes with new evidence, not a flat one-off summary.
On the other hand, if the data is scattered across links and images, readers may struggle to see the bigger picture without a coherent index.
Exactly, so they built a central banner and star history visuals, which could help orientation, but we need clear provenance criteria and uncertainty flags.
Criteria and uncertainty flags would be essential, especially since real-world provenance can be messy, with supplier changes, recipe tweaks, and regional variants.
One wow moment. The project claims all dishes appear in a formal Chinese letter, and invites readers to consult and contribute missing items.
That's impressive, but new updates with AI art and user contributions may outpace scholarly rigor unless there are guardrails and review workflows.
Another wow, the repository links to a Chinese report and provides explicit caveats about editors, clarifying editorial boundaries for a bilingual audience.
Yet the bilingual angle raises translation challenges. Nuances may slip in translation, affecting meaning and perceived provenance.
Here's a hopeful takeaway. Combining provenance, visuals, and community signals could democratize food history, making local dialects and practices legible.
Potential downside. If a user can't verify sources easily, they might trust the AI-generated visuals more than the referenced report, skewing perception.
Trade-off acknowledged. They also mention star history charts, digital breadcrumbs of attention over time, linking popularity with dish narratives.
Interesting but fragile. Popularity data can mislead about quality or authenticity. We should separate cultural interest from factual provenance.
True, they disclaim not being official, which could be a strength inviting critique, but it also demands careful reader skepticism and cautious consumption.
Let's think of an analogy. It's like a fan wiki for a local cuisine. Great for crowd engagement, risky if there's no reliable governance or citation standards.
Governance is the edge case. They hint at contributors and a banner image. We should ask, who moderates, what counts as a credible source, and how are disputes resolved?
Exactly, and we should consider the environmental and cultural sensitivity aspects. Provenance isn't just facts, it's respect for communities and recipes.
Speaking of communities, the project mentions Chinese letter as a base. That transfers legitimacy yet invites debates about commercialization versus tradition.
Debates will emerge. Is tracing recipes for branding purposes, or is it preserving culinary memory for future cooks and researchers?
Another important nuance: text copying from a report creates citation challenges. They need precise attribution, licensing, and possible edits disclosed.
Yes, and the dual language layout could help cross-pollination, but it might complicate searchability and automated indexing across platforms.
Do you think the AI-generated images help or hinder understanding? They can spark imagination but risk misrepresenting texture, color, or technique.
Both. They can prime curiosity, yet without a robust legend, readers might misread visuals as direct evidence rather than interpretive art.
Let's consider risk mitigation. Adding provenance scores, links to source documents, and timestamps could anchor the visuals in reality.
That would create a living evidence trail, which is exactly what a modern culinary archive should strive for, especially with community edits.
From a meta perspective, this is a mini case study of digital humanities in food culture, how to balance openness, accuracy, and accessibility.
Agreed, though the evidence base is still evolving. We should watch for bias in which dishes get featured and whose voices dominate the narrative.
Here's a thought: the project could inspire schools or home cooks to investigate provenance locally, turning a restaurant menu into a learning journey.
Nice utopian angle, but we should test real-world impact. Will diners actually trust or engage with a crowdsourced provenance when deciding what to eat?
Cliffhanger moment: the text hints at new AI art contributions and a public sign-up, which suggests momentum but also raises privacy or consent questions.
True, and we should ask what data is collected, how it's stored, and whether contributors maintain control over their submitted visuals or captions.
Pulling it together, it's a hybrid of community curation, scholarly touchpoints, and evolving media, messy, but potentially transformative for local food memory.
I see the arc: curiosity, caution, and then synthesis, turning raw notes into a narrative that respects sources while inviting dialogue.
Peak insight: the project shows that provenance isn't a single verdict but a conversation across sources, cultures, and creative media.
Major caveat: without strong governance, it'll drift. With thoughtful standards, it could become a living archive that respects both tradition and innovation.
Final takeaway: embrace openness but demand traceability, timestamps, and clear attributions so readers can trust and critique as needed.
Question to ponder: if you could extend this, what other cuisines deserve a similar crowdsourced provenance memory, and how would you safeguard trust?
Answering that would require community norms, a transparent review flow, and a sustainable model, perhaps partnering with libraries or culinary programs.
Then let's imagine the next chapter: a living dataset where dishes evolve with new discoveries, yet always circle back to credible, cited origins.
This kind of project could become a template for other regional foods, turning local kitchens into unlockable archives rather than sealed recipes.
Agreed, but the hype must be tempered with discipline, clear licenses, source tracing, and a culture of constructive critique among contributors.
I want to see explicit examples: a dish, its sources, a timeline of edits, and a side-by-side of AI art versus photographed provenance for transparency.
That would be a powerful demonstration, letting readers dissect how visuals map to reality and where interpretation begins to color the facts.
Another angle: could this model empower regional cooks to reclaim status by attaching local stories to official menus, enriching cultural legitimacy?
Potentially, yes, as long as the narratives honor chefs, farmers, and communities, rather than turning taste into a branding exercise.
We should also scrutinize the licensing: who owns contributed captions or images, and how reuse is regulated across platforms and languages.
Licensing is critical. Without it, crowdsourced memory could become contested territory, eroding trust rather than building it.
The project hints at a bridge between scholarly rigor and open curiosity, inviting critiques while inviting everyone to participate in the discovery.
Indeed, it's a delicate dance between accuracy and accessibility, where missteps risk alienating traditionalists or misinforming curious newcomers.
If we hold the line on citations, annotations, and transparent edits, this could become a respectful, evolving archive of shared culinary memory.
And the bottom line, provenance is less about a verdict and more about a conversation, one that grows when more voices join the table.
So, how would you design the next upgrade to ensure trust? Stronger editorial review, more source links, or interactive user validation workflows?
I'd push for layered verification, primary sources visible, community flags for uncertainty, and reversible edits to safeguard history.
I like that. It keeps momentum without sacrificing accountability, turning a living page into a responsible, collaborative memory instrument.
Plus, a clear timeline would let readers see how a dish's story evolves, what's settled, what's debated, and what new evidence tipped the balance.
This is exactly the kind of thoughtful, iterative design that turns data into human storytelling, without losing sight of sources and credibility.
Absolutely, and it's not just a BOUT Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. The method could invite many cuisines, each with its own local heroes and secret family tweaks.
Imagine a roadmap, pilot with a handful of dishes, publish transparent provenance rules, and scale to regional networks with community moderators.
That would be sustainable. A governance layer plus technical scaffolding could keep the project honest while staying inviting to learners.
Final thought, provenance as conversation, openness as invitation, rigor as backbone. Could this become the way communities remember food together?
I think so, as long as we stay curious, skeptical when needed, and committed to sharing sources alongside stories for every dish.